Hi, I am Christian Chiller, and people are often sending me productivity apps to take a look at. And this is one called NameQuick, which is a bulk, clever, smart file renamer for macOS. Now, there's a few competing apps in this space now, including the operating system itself increasingly. So let's dig in, have a look, and see how it compares. So this is the website, namequick.app. There is a pricing model. I know a lot of people are starting to challenge monthly pricing on certain things when maybe there's minimal costs involved, but maybe we'll reserve judgment for that until we've tested it. Get the general idea here. All right, well, let's give it a go. This is the app icon here, kind of mysterious looking file. I'll start a free trial for now. Now I always like to, whilst that's doing its thing, have a look to see how this is made. What have we got here? Okay, it's not Electron. It's a good start. Okay, well, we'll carry on then. Okay, so this is, I guess, why you have to charge things. I'm going to use local for now, just because I think it's simpler, to be honest with you. I do have LM Studio actually running. I need to grant some access. It's expected. So it's doing it with AI. I don't know how much of that necessarily is needed. And it's interesting, of course, because macOS increasingly now has some local models it could use, but okay, that's fine. Where should we put them? Let's keep things maybe just in downloads, like a caveman for now. Don't think I'm going to use a watch folder quite yet. Okay, so I can do 50 renames. Okay, great. I mean, the interesting thing here is I'd kind of like to be able to do this in the Finder itself. Here we go. So let's do that folder of screenshots. I have no idea what they are. Okay, I mean, they're all new right now. 5 existing files found. I'm not quite sure how they could be existing when I haven't added anything, but okay. All right, so the various screenshots of things. Let's select all of them and let's just do a smart rename. I don't know what the difference between rename and smart rename is. Maybe it's just the settings for this button. Okay, let's see what happens. So I'm assuming it's going to look at the contents of the file and rename them. Seems pretty reasonable and obvious, doesn't it? Now, one thing I will say is this is quite slow. This is probably my local model setup. This is the problem with local models. We could actually jump into LM Studio and see. Yeah, we can see various things happening here. Sometimes I've been trying to optimize this kind of setup for a while because it's very slow when you're running locally. So maybe this isn't a fair experiment. Oh, wow, okay. And my fan is now going like crazy. It also just finished. I didn't do anything. Maybe it timed out. Maybe we should try it with a non-local model then. How do we change the provider? It's right down here. Okay. Problem with going down one of these paths is it can end up costing you a lot as well. I'd sort of like to be able to get it to work locally, really. It's got some recommended downloads here. Maybe we'll do this. So I will stop recording whilst we download this and come back to it and see if it works any smoother. I've loaded Gemma. I'm not actually sure. Instead, we're getting GIF versus GIF debates again. I quite like the fact that you can actually, I mean, I'm sure LM Studio provides this functionality by default, but this is the first app I've actually seen that kind of takes advantage of that. So that is now selected. Good. I'm going to double check some of this other settings here. I'm surprised that the OCR wasn't enabled by default, actually. I would have thought that would help the AI processing anyway, but okay, I think that will do. So maybe we'll be a little less ambitious and just try it one at a time. Let's see. Now why? I wonder why it says 2 there, but anyway, let's see. Nothing seems to be happening. Let's try again. All right, something's happening. It's not the one I picked, but there we go. Still takes a very long time. I guess there is the argument of, this is quite annoying, is it worth paying a bunch of tokens or having to optimize a local model to rename a file? Yeah, it's a hard one to say. And this seems to be endlessly not actually working. Maybe we can see what the error is. That is the time now. Unrecognized key. Apparently there was a response. Let's try again. It's like the fact there's these presets as well. It's kind of interesting. Okay, let's try and maybe let's just start again. Okay. No, and then nothing happens. So, okay, retry. All right. Yes. Okay. Are we going to try now? No. Okay, I finding the UI somewhat confusing here. I just would like to try again. I'm not quite sure why I can't. Okay, pick a file. I don't know what this 3 is indicating as well. Maybe we'll review. No, and nothing happens. Your mileage may vary. Maybe we'll try one last time by just adding a different file. Maybe if I can just get rid of these. Yeah. And I don't know why it says 2 files. There's only one. There we go. And again, nothing happens. So I'm not sure if it's a UI issue or something else. If we come back to LM Studio, I don't think anything happened. No. I could rename manually. That doesn't seem particularly helpful. So, and I mean, ideally, what I'd really like to do is use something like this, but be able to do it from here. So, I mean, here's a screenshot, for example. What would be great if I could be renaming from here. And I get the impression maybe with some shortcuts set up. Hang on, there is. Look at that, under services. But with shortcuts set up at the moment and local models, you could possibly do something similar. But let's see what happens if we do it from here instead. Nothing. Maybe I should try quitting it. I don't know. Okay, something's happening. Oh my God, something is happening. Okay, let's jump into LM Studio, see if we get an indication again. Yeah, this keeps happening. I'm not quite sure what that is, but then something happens. That didn't actually take very long, but still we're not seeing anything here. It'd be good if there was some kind of, it did work. Stream Deck Preferences General tab. I think that is correct. Let me actually just look at the file. No. But I did take that screenshot recently. Yes, it is. Okay, let's try another one. All right, we're getting somewhere. I actually kind of prefer doing it from the Finder, to be honest with you. I don't know what this is. I've got a PDF there ready to go as well. I think this is more useful in some respects. It's a shame you have to kind of open up the application, but still. And this model is indeed better, I think. Just for this anyway. I don't want to tempt fate by, yeah, that is, I won't actually show this picture. I know what it is. The description is correct. Okay, I'm going to try this. So this is a magazine. This is Sound on Sound. Let's have a go. Let's see if it can pick it up. I'm not quite sure what you would pick in some respects. There'd be a lot you could go for. This might take a bit longer because this is obviously an entire PDF. I'm tempted to jump into LM Studio and see what's going on. Yeah, it's taking a bit longer. Fan isn't going yet. 40%. Okay, this model is a lot quicker, actually. I will possibly try using it instead of Quen from now on. The fan is now going. 80%. Oh. It would be nice if there was a bit more of a kind of progress indicator here. It could obviously depend on the model provider, I guess. Like local models, but they require an awful lot of optimization. Sound on Sound Magazine, July. Yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. I kind of would like, I don't know if I got something that would maybe give more of an indication of the file contents. This one could be interesting. Don't think I want to show you what it is, but it's a letter from a government body. Let's see if it can cope. It's not really going to reveal too much because it's a letter from a government body asking, I think we've just reached a limit, haven't we? No. Syncing. Syncing what? I'm not sure. What are we syncing? There we go. It's a letter from a government body asking why I haven't done an update, but it's on something that was closed like 11 or 12 years ago. So not really revealing too much information, I think, but I'm interested to see what it gets from it. I'm not going to show the picture though. Not-for-profit self-review. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty basic OCR, really. I guess that's reasonable. It's not wrong. I don't know what I was expecting. But there we go. That is NameQuick. I'm starting to wonder if with some configuration of the operating system, you could do this anyway, but maybe you like using models you know better instead of the Apple local modules, which have some issues and complexities, of course. Whether you think the pricing is worth it, I'm not sure. I like the fact that it is more Mac-centric. It's connecting up with DevonThink and things like that. I do have DevonThink. It'd be interesting to see if it could actually integrate straight out of it. I mean, DevonThink is pretty macOS integrated, so quite possibly. So pricing-wise, I mean, if you want to use your own keys or local models, then it's $38 one time, which isn't too bad. If you want to use someone else's, then $5 a month. I mean, you'd have to be renaming an awful lot of files maybe to make that worth it. I'm not sure. And there's also things like Hazel and tools like this now that do this for you. So you'd have to compare to a lot of those. It's included on Setup, apparently, which I actually have. I should have tested it from there. So there we go. I will make sure my Setup link is in the description. But it's interesting. I think its biggest competition will be macOS itself in the near future. But once we kind of got things kickstarted, I especially liked the fact that it recommended models that it would work best with. Another application I've looked at recently, CoTypist, did this as well, which I think is good because especially I sort of know what I'm doing, but I don't really. And sometimes when it comes to models, you don't really know which one is optimized for a task. So I like that. There's a little bit of these UI oddities, but a bit of a restart sort of fixed that. So once we got going, kind of interesting. Maybe I'll run it a bit longer and report back. But for now, that's NameQuick at namequick.app.